Hey VC, how we doing? Happy New Year to all of you. Hope everyone enjoyed the holiday season and had a great New Year. It's 2019, so this is my first video of the year. I thought I'd do the vinyl tag 2019. Last year when I first started making these videos, the vinyl tag 2018 was one of the very first videos that I participated in. Really like doing this. I love watching everybody's responses. It's interesting to hear everyone's different responses to these questions. Pretty interesting set of questions too. It's 20 questions. I'll go through them and answer them, and then I'll put the list of questions down below for anyone else who wants to jump in and do this vinyl tag. I do encourage you to do so. It's a very good exercise to go answer these questions and go through your collection to and pull out some things and talk about them. So I have the questions over here and some notes, so excuse me if I'm looking over this way a bit. Got my records over here, so let's get started. The first question, vinyl tag 2019, is what was your best find of 2018? Now, I picked this up late last year. I've talked about it in several different videos, but it was this Max Roach Quartet Namo. This was only released in Japan. Very, very hard to get a copy here in the States. Had to get this shipped to me from Japan. Wasn't available in the US. I looked high and low for it. So happy to have a copy of this. It's a great live performance by Max Roach Quartet Namo. It's one song on both sides, so it starts. Song starts on side one and it finishes at the end of side two. And this is outstanding. This was my holiest of grails and was so happy to finally get a copy of it. And on top of that, it's a white label promo. So awesome. Number two, shout out to other VC channels who deserve more viewers. So I have 10 here. I like what Steve Carlson did and mentioned channels that were under 200 subs. I kind of did the same, but even without thinking about how many subs they had, this grouping are channels that I definitely think need more exposure because they're really great people, great channels. I really enjoy watching what they have to show and what they have to talk about. First one, Jolly Roger. If you're not familiar with Roger, great channel, shows a lot of classic rock, country, very personable guy. He's a drummer. Just a really great, nice guy, Jolly Roger. He's currently at 133 subs. He's been around as long or maybe even longer as me, so I feel like he definitely deserves a lot more subs. So hopefully you can go check him out. Jolly Roger. Next channel is Black Beans and Rice. He's currently at 97 subs. I'm newer to his channel, but I really enjoy the videos that I've watched, and he's got a great collection. I feel like we may have similar tastes, especially on the jazz spectrum. So Brian seems really nice. I think the two of us are close in proximity to each other, so that's kind of cool. But really great channel, Black Beans and Rice. So give him a sub. These next three I mentioned a month or so ago. Gave them a shout out, and I still want to do it again because three really good channels. Starting with Rob at Sounds Strange. One of the most knowledgeable and intelligent guys that I've come across in the VC. I mentioned before he talks a lot about classical music, and has a series about 20th century classical composers, and it's really, really interesting. Now, that's not all he talks about, but definitely worth checking out. And he's currently at 98 subscribers, so right on the cusp of 100. I think when I mentioned him previously, he was only at like 12, 13, somewhere around there, 15. Really low numbers. I'm glad to see that he's finally starting to get some exposure. Really, really great channel. Another channel, Michael P. Dawson. He's currently at 126 subscribers. Another great guy, very knowledgeable. He's a musician. I've really find what he talks about interesting. He's done great videos on King Crimson and Frank Zappa. I really love hearing him talk because he's so knowledgeable and just a really great channel. So I definitely recommend Michael P. Dawson. And then Mike over at Jam on Vinyl. He's a newer member to the VC. Only been doing videos a month or two. He's doing great. I really enjoy where he's taking his videos. He's talking about some interesting things. He drummer. We have that in common. So really interesting channel, Mike over at Jam on Vinyl. Check him out. It's good stuff. Now, veteran of the VC, had a channel with tons of subscribers, took it down, came back a while back. This is Balding Boomer. I absolutely love Balding Boomer's channel. He's currently at 112 subs, and that's a shame because he's very entertaining. Loves talking about the oldies, especially like old radio and DJs and disc jockeys, and from his era of growing up, the 50s and early 60s. And I really enjoy listening to him talk because he's very passionate and enthusiastic about that stuff, and just love his channel. So Balding Boomer, go check him out. Now this next channel is another guy who's been around as long as me, if not longer, and I just love his channel. He's got a collection worth drooling over. Lots of rare jazz or great jazz releases, and that's Dave at Local Bandography. He's another one who's just really, really knowledgeable, finds great stuff, and just a great guy. So he's at 187, so I'm hoping that he'll get over 200 real soon. Check him out, Local Bandography. Great, great channel. Next, Jamie Cottle from Canada. Jamie has 160 subscribers. Definitely feel like he deserves a lot more than that. Another great guy. He is like the king of box sets, and he's got the back of his video, you just see just walls and walls of box sets and CDs and you name it. It's a sight to be seen, and he's a really, really nice guy, and I definitely think you should check him out, and he deserves more subscribers in my opinion. Now the next one is another VC member who's been around a while, but he has 95 subs, and his channel is very conversational, and I really, really enjoy that. The channel name is William Now, and it's Bradley is the man who does the videos, and he's great. He talks mostly about jazz, but not only jazz, but he'll usually pull out an album or two, usually two, and he'll talk about them, and I always learn something, or we have good dialogue back and forth in the comments talking about different things that he mentioned. So great channel, definitely deserves way more subs. So go check him out. That channel is William Now, 2 words, William Now. And last but not least is another VC member who's been around a while. He's currently at 113 subscribers, and that is Flash Gordon's One Record at a Time. like I said, he's been around a while. He shows lots of great stuff, 80s, 90s, classic rock. He doesn't show himself on camera, but he usually displays the albums right front and center for you to see. And he's just a real energetic, passionate guy, and well worth you to go check him out and sub. So those are 10 shout outs or channels that need more subs, and I hope you do check them out, and I hope you enjoy them. So moving on here, next question is, what holes are you looking to fill in your collection? So going into 2019, I did think about this even before the questions came out. So there's definitely some bands that I want to start collecting and getting their releases, and then there's some genres also that I want to collect more of. The first is jazz. So this year, 2018, I was all in on jazz. I got a lot of jazz releases. I love jazz. I've learned a lot more this year, and my collection has grown quite a bit. But there's just so much out there that I want. So this year, I'm going to be definitely buying more jazz releases. And yeah, jazz. Also, prog. So I'm a prog rock guy. I love all the classic prog rock bands like Genesis and Yes and King Crimson and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Gentle Giant, Camel, all those great bands. But I'm starting to expand to different bands. Like earlier this year, I got Finch. So there's other bands out there that I want to start exploring a little more. Another genre is psych. So psych rock has been big in the VC for a while now, and over the past year I've taken lots of notes on different things that people have been showing and have checked things out online. Definitely had my interest peaked. So I'm looking to get more into psych and psych rock. So those are the genres that I'm looking to go deeper into this year. Now, some bands. I would really like to start getting more into Tangerine Dream. I don't really have any other releases other than a soundtrack from the movie Legend. I really enjoy that, but that's one band that I'm going to be searching out this year. Another band is The Byrds. Would love to start collecting their releases. Who else? Nina Simone. Big fan of Nina Simone. I don't have any on vinyl, so hopefully I'll be able to start getting some of her releases on vinyl. The Beach Boys. I already have a nice collection of Beach Boys records, but there's some definite holes I want to fill, like Wild Honey, Friends, Sunflowers, stuff like that. Yeah, Beach Boys. So that's a handful of things that the holes I'm looking to fill this year. We'll see how it goes. All right, number 4 is a cheap album that's really good. Okay, so I picked out 2 here. The first cheap album that's really good. This is Billy Preston. Everybody likes some kind of music. This album is great. I found this in a thrift store for, I think it was $1. May have even been less. And it's awesome. Billy Preston is awesome, and this album is really great. I was really happy to find it in great shape for so cheap. Recommend it. If you ever come across it, pick it up. It's really, really great. Now the second album, you see this artist a lot in thrift stores and dollar bins and such, and it's Linda Ronstadt. So This is Heart Like a Wheel, great album. But really, you can't go wrong with a lot of her work. Typically really cheap. This one was definitely under $1. I think it was 67 cents or something like that. Well worth picking up Linda Ronstadt. Really good stuff. Okay. It was number 4. Number 5. Your favorite side project album. So I struggled with this one a bit. A couple people stole what I was thinking about. Steve Carlson showed the Traveling Wilburys. And then Black Beans and Rice showed Old and in the Way. And that was the one I was really going to show, because I agree that's a good side project that Jerry Garcia was involved in. But I went with this band, Brand X. So Brand X was a side project that Phil Collins was involved with. Let's see. You can see him here. So Brand X is kind of like rock jazz or rock fusion. Really great stuff. Prog fusion. I don't know what how you want to classify it. But yeah, he in between recording with Genesis and touring with Genesis, he also played with this band and toured with this band. So, Brand X. This album is rock and roll, very good. So that's the answer to that one. Number 6, a song from an artist / band that is uncharacteristic in their catalog. It took me a while to think of this, but once I remembered, I had to run with it. So, the Carpenters. We all know the Carpenters, and I love the Carpenters. I think they're great. This album has a song. It's number 4 on side 2. Mr. Gooder. First of all, it's a great song. But I categorize it as prog rock. It's not what you would think of when you think of the Carpenters. Go search that song out and tell me what you think. I absolutely love that song. I think it's great. Especially there's some on YouTube. There's some live performances of it, and I'm not kidding. It's a prog rock song, and it's really great. Totally different than what you think of when you think of the Carpenters. So that was number 6. Number 7 is the last album you purchased. So this was a great score. Very happy to get this one. And it is Boss Tenor by Gene Ammons. This is an original mono pressing on the Prestige label. Very happy to get this. Wonderful album. Classic, and the most recent one I purchased. Alright, now these next two, they go hand in hand. Number 7 is number 8 is a great album with a bad cover, and then number 9 is a bad album with a cool cover. Yeah, I really struggle with these two, especially number 9, a cool album cover but bad album, because I like everything in my collection. I don't consider anything bad. But the first one, a bad cover but it's a great album. I'm not sure if you'll agree with me or not, but I love this album, but I never was fully on board with the cover. And that's UK. This is, I guess, I don't know how you want to classify this, maybe jazz rock or prog rock, I guess. But this album has Bill Bruford, John Wetton, Alan Holdsworth, and Eddie Jobson. and it's just absolutely wonderful, but I never understood this album cover, but love the album. Now next, a bad album with a cool cover. I'm wondering if I'm going to get any hate for this. I'm going to preface this that this is an okay album. It's not great in my opinion, but I don't hate it. I do think the cover is cool. I don't love the album though. Emotional Rescue by the Rolling Stones. So like I said, I struggled with these two questions, and took me a while to figure out what I was going to show, but this is what I landed on. Cool cover, but not the greatest of albums in my opinion. Okay, number 10, a blues album. So, super blues band with Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, and Bo Diddley. Great blues record. Also has Buddy Guy on bass and Otis Spann on piano. Really good blues record. Alright, an earworm song. Pretty much any song by this band gets stuck in your ear. But I'm going with the first track on this album, on side 1, SOS by ABBA. If I hear that song, it is in my head for a week. And I really enjoy the song, so it's not a bad thing. But that's what that's gonna be my earworm, SOS by ABBA. Okay, number 12, a historically important artist. I'm really surprised from the videos that I've watched that nobody mentioned this band, and maybe it's because they didn't want to be too obvious. Well, I'm going to be that guy that's too obvious. The Beatles. So, the Beatles, in a span of 10 years, they put out some of the most iconic music and albums. Changed music. They themselves changed over that 10 years several times. They put their imprint on fashion, album artwork, recording in the studio. They changed it all. So and they put out some damn good music over that 10 years. So that's my answer. Going very obvious with number 12, a historically important artist, the Beatles. So number 13, an album you own because of your parents. This was another tough one because I don't have much memory of listening to music with my parents or being influenced by what they listen to. But this is one I definitely do remember, and it's Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. I have 2 copies of this, so I'm not sure if this is their copy or if my other copy is their copy. But yeah, great album, and one that my parents would listen to, and now I have that copy. Okay, so best dollar bin find. So I'm gonna put this question as in 2018, best dollar bin find. So at some point last year, I found this for 99 cents. So Klaatu. This is a great album. Speaking of the Beatles, this was a lot of people thought that this was the Beatles putting out an album under a different name. funny enough. And also, going back to my Carpenters reference, they also did a cover of the first song on this album, Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft, which is kind of funny in itself. Again, uncharacteristic of the Carpenters. But great album, 99 cents. If you've never checked this album out, I definitely recommend it. So go check it out. Favorite double album. So I've talked about this album ad nauseum on my channel and this band. People are probably sick of me talking about this album and this band. But Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It's my absolute favorite double album by my favorite band. What can I say about this album? It's just awesome. Yeah, it's my favorite. Let's see, number 16. An album you learned about from the VC in the last year. So probably somewhere around mid-year, June, July, August, somewhere around there. This album was talked about a lot in the VC. And I had never heard it before. So I definitely wanted to get it after hearing everybody talk about it. And it's Live, Johnny Winter End. And this is a great blues rock album. Happy that I picked it up. And I would not have done so probably if it hadn't been for the VC talking about this. I definitely remember Jeff Kempen talking about this, and I definitely remember the Omaha introvert Hannah talking about this album. But there was lots of other people talking about this album. So, really happy to have grabbed this one this past year. Thanks to the VC. Okay, number 17, a 10-inch record. So I don't have many 10 inches. I have 3, but this is one of them. And it's Miles Davis, Volume 2. This is an original Blue Note release. I forget what year. I want to say it's 1952 or 1954. But I can't remember. I should have looked that up beforehand. But it's on Blue Note, and it's Miles Davis, and it's great. All right, so what number was that? Number 17, number 18, a 7-inch record. Okay. This is The Girl from Ipanema by Stan Getz and Gilberto. So Jobin Gilberto and Stan Getz put out this classic song, The Girl from Ipanema. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. It's on the Verve label. It's Grade 45 back with Blowin' in the Wind by Stan Getz, cover of Bob Dylan. So that's my 7-inch. Okay, we're almost at the end here. Number 19, a favorite album to fall asleep to. This was a very different type of question because I don't fall asleep to music normally. I don't listen to music when I'm going to bed, but music can be so relaxing that you do fall asleep to it. And I picked this album, The Geese and the Ghost by Anthony Phillips. Great, great record. Anthony Phillips, the original guitarist from Genesis. This came out in 1977, I believe, on Passport Records. And it's great. So very orchestral, very mellow. It's got a lot of like the orchestral instruments like cello and oboe, and of course acoustic guitar. What else? Piano, bells, chimes, harmonium, 12-string guitar. Just a great album, and it's kind of relaxing, so I could imagine falling asleep to this. Not sure that I've ever done so, but that's what I'm picking. And then number 20, your favorite VC experience and or advice for people contemplating making videos. So, favorite VC experience, there's a couple things. So, early on when I started making videos, I got a couple shout outs from some channels, and that I was blown away that someone would actually do that for me. So there was Andy Borders, mentioned my channel one time. There was Luke over at Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl. Believe he was the first one to shout out my channel, and that really meant a lot. And Luke's another great channel that needs more subs. He doesn't make a whole lot of videos anymore, but another great guy, great channel. Check him out too. His channel name is Luke Sciom, SCIOM. That's an abbreviated version of his last name, but Luke SCIOM. Another great channel, great guy. He gave me my first shout out, and that meant a lot to me. And I couldn't believe that he did that for me. He also sent me my first VCLT, which was great. Luke's a great guy. So I mentioned Andy Borders, Luke, Andrew at Tales from the Crate mentioned my channel early on, and just hearing my channel get mentioned from channels that I loved watching was just huge for me. It really meant a lot, and it kind of motivated me to keep on going and doing this, because when you first start out, you know, it's tough. You don't know what you want to show. You don't know what you want to talk about, and I'm not very good at speaking in this type of forum to begin with. Tough time like formulating my thoughts into words, but I've stuck with it for almost a year now. Beginning of March will be a year. So those were great experiences from the VC. The other thing, experiences, is definitely meeting everybody and becoming friends. I've made some really good friends here, something I didn't really expect from doing this. I expected to have interaction with people, but I didn't really think about or expect to have these true friendships, people that really mean a lot to me, and I enjoy watching their videos and talking with them and texting and chatting and all that fun stuff. That is definitely a benefit of doing this. There's really great people in this community, and I'm happy that I've gotten to know a lot of you and made some true friendships. Now, advice. Other people's Vinyl Tag videos have offered very good advice so far, and I echo what they've said. Don't worry about subscriber count. Be yourself. Don't worry about if you're doing it wrong, because you're not. But I do have, I guess, one piece of advice, and that is to interact with other channels. Comment on their videos as well. And I know when someone comments on my video and I'm not familiar with them, the first thing I do is click their name to see if they, if it's a channel I'm just not aware of, and if they do videos. And if they do, I subscribe them and I start checking out their videos. So it's like a reciprocal thing. So definitely interact with other channels. comment, subscribe to them. Yeah, interact with other people. I found that's a good way to not only be involved with the community, but it's also a good way to get your channel name out there, so other people start seeing your name pop up and your channel name pop up. So hopefully it amounts to more people getting to your channel. So that would be the one piece of advice I offer, is interact with other channels. Don't be uptight about it. Just have fun doing it. I know, like me, this is very out of character for me. I'm very introverted, very shy, very quiet, and to do something like this is really, like I said, out of character for me. And this platform has, I guess, given me a voice, or we all have this music in common, and it's given me that outlet to talk about it and to share it and have fun. So that's what it's about. Interact with people, have fun, enjoy the music, share what you're listening to. That's what we're all here for. So that's my advice. So everybody, that's my Vinyl Tag 2019. I appreciate you sticking around this long. Thanks for watching. And once again, Happy New Year. Best wishes to everybody in this new year. Hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.